We've got some corn for you. Obviously, this is not corn in the bad sense. This is corn as in one of the better metal bands out type thing. So we're going to talk about their 1999 album, Issues. This album was very anticipated, and with Korn, from what I remember, they had a success in the year 1998 with Follow the Leader. And the thing is, hold on, I have to belch. Something happened. I looked up information. There was something called the Woodstock 1999, and I know Limp Bizkit was there, and there were just various other things. 1999 was quite a voracious year, if that's the correct word, just because metal and rap rock was really reigning supreme that year. It was just a hot year. I really get the feeling if people were knocking these sort of albums June, July, August of 1999, it was just relentless. Just because the energy that you get from these said rap rock releases and metal releases was more, it was just hell bent. That's the best way to put it. It's just the sheer velocity that this sort of stuff reached in that year was good. And so, you had Kid Rock, you had Limp Bizkit, you had Eminem, you had Korn, and then a few other cats. Also, you had people and the Ozfest and those sorts of things. It was just a good time. And I feel like, rap rock, it's unfortunate that it's gone, but point being is it culminated with this album. I don't even want to say culminated because I think the energy continued, but this is yet another one to add to the endless list of Korn releases that I like. And so I don't know the history of how well this album charted because I don't currently have the internet right now, but I do know that between, I think, Follow the Leader went multi-platinum. This album obviously did as well. And it lasted well into the year 2000, and it just lifted them off the ground, if they weren't already. Now, that's extremely good. I want to get these releases going. To me, this is kind of the different type of album than Follow the Leader. From what I remember, that had some real kind of shaky, trembling records on it, whereas this one is just you're peering into the mind, and it feels a lot more like a trip through a person's brain. You'll see as I describe it more. But can you smoke to this? I feel like you can. Now, I'm not gonna, obviously, I'm gonna have to remember these songs, but I do feel like Falling Away from Me and Wake Up are some ones that are real smoking ones. Make Me Bad's another one, and just most of the album, it really kind of leaves a sick feeling, and it'll leave a sick feeling in you, and I mean that in the best way possible. So you may think the cheeriness is needed, but this gives you the opposite of that, the antithesis, and it makes being unhappy fun. So that's kind of the direction that Korn goes with. And I guess I also want to bring it, so the production. Now this was kind of the thing out of basically, there's 5 skits on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5 skits. So that would leave 11 songs plus 1 7, almost 8-minute songs. That leaves 10 songs on here. And out of these 10 songs, I basically liked about 9 of them. So, or 8 of them. 9. Yeah, so 1 song out of 10 I didn't like. But all of these sound different. That's the thing. It doesn't even really sound like metal until after you get past the first 2 verses, which really does happen. And the thing about it is you're going to be hearing some different stuff. I'm glad that they had such a expansive palette when it comes to what they did, and it's obvious that they were kind of doing new things. So I don't know what the radio songs were from this album, but I am impressed by it, and I feel like Falling Away From Me is kind of one of the more eerier songs. I feel like Make Me Bad has like a really mean piano on it, and there's just some other ones on here. I mean, most every production field that they tackle on this ends up working. So we'll cover that. You're just going to be hearing a lot. Like I said, you're going to hear a lot of different things that are going to wind up working out. So as far as the unheard songs, which are songs that you may not have heard, but I recommend that you check out, I am going to say that out of 10 songs on this release, obviously you can count the last song Dirty, but there's this kind of this television white noise at the end that I didn't like, so I wasn't really feeling that song. But the only song I didn't really like that much was No Way, and I might end up liking that down the road. But out of the 9 songs that remain, some of my favorites were Let's Get This Party Started and Make Me Bad. But then I also feel like Wake Up, that one was really blurry. And then Falling Away From Me was another one that I remember. And I think also Somebody, Someone is another one. And, you just need to check out this whole record. If you are here for my rap reviews, I would probably say to start with this album or the 2005 album, See You on the Other Side. Both of those are real. They're not, the guitar kind of hits in later down the road, but this is not a dragonous, huge, vicious beast that is uncontrollable when it comes to energy. This is really, there's directions being shown on it, and I do feel like, just the fact that it is not as, well, you're just going to have to see it. That's the main thing, is just, it's more crazy than it is ferocious. And so that's the thing about it, is it just feels demented. That's the best way to put it, is it really does. And, as I listen to it, I'm going to continue listening to it, open up, get more familiar with the album and stuff. And I do feel like this record is rather set to go. So it's just one thing to pay attention to is, I still think Follow the Leader probably was a little bit more raw. But this has got some mean stuff. Don't think that this is tame, because it's not. I wouldn't know what metal album by, I don't know what album by Korn to start with. That's like the only thing. I'd probably say this would be the one, or like I said, the 2005 one. But, the score is getting a 10, and I also think, the future, I don't know what Korn's been up to. We're going to find out soon. Social score, I will give it about a 9. I'll just give it a 10 just because, this is stuff that you may have heard, and if you haven't blown out metal and rap rock, you need to take a dose of this. So it's something that needs to be heard. It's way too inventive and way too creative to ignore. And yeah, so can it be top? No. So go out and get this. Subscribe for more fun 10s across the board.